It's time to get your champagne wishes and caviar dreams. Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. Now, can you dig that?
Booyah! Welcome inside the Hall of Fame. I'm Booker T, 6-time world champ, 2-time Hall of Famer. Got my man Brad Gilmore here with me. As always, man, I'm feeling good. I'm feeling real good. I want to thank everybody for stepping inside the Hall of Fame. As always, for getting your champagne wishes. Caviar dreams, man. Hey, man, it's not a whole lot of news out there that I can see. But if there's anybody out there that see anything on my super chatters, please let me know, because we got to talk about whatever it is you guys want to talk about, as well as Sub-Zero. Our first Sub-Zero event went down this weekend at the Walker, Texas Lawyer Arena. I don't know if you guys seen the photos that was posted. Another sold-out house, another one, another sold-out house, as well as, man, we got brand new tag team champions, Hank and Tank. We got a brand new reality of wrestling champion in Gaspar Hernandez. We got a brand new Diamonds division champion in Alex Gracia. Oh my God, man. I tell you, it was a hell of a weekend. We've had a hell of a weekend at Reality Wrestling.
Also a brand new Reality Wrestling Texas champion and Max Castellanos.
How did I forget about Max? How did I forget about Max? How did I do that?
You're flipping. And then and the first defense of the brand new Reality Wrestling Women's Tag Team Champions, the Money Birds. So we had a lot of fresh. I think we only had one champion retained.
Outside the Money Birds, Money Birds actually, there was an announcement made about the Money Birds and the Tag Team Championships and whatnot. But outside the Money Birds, this might be the first time that every title changed hands on one night.
I think the only one was Chandler Hopkins found a way to retain that TV title. Yeah, aside from that, everything else is different.
Yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy. What a difference a day make at Reality of Wrestling, man. But I tell you, I want to thank my crew, man. I want to thank my crew for definitely stepping up, putting on a hell of a show. I want to thank Bruce Pritchard for coming out and hanging out and seeing, a little part that he created, man. He had a big part in the creation of Reality Wrestling and, where it is right now and where we're going in the future. 2025, man. 2025 is going to be a damn good year for Reality of Wrestling, man. So I'm excited, man. I've been riding around in my new Cybertruck, and, man, it feels good. I went charged it for the first time, and right over there by that little spot, Rudy's barbecue.
Mm-hmm.
Rudy's a shout out, man, because I had the brisket sandwich, and I tell you, man, that sandwich was off the charts, baby. So that's gonna be my charging spot from now on. Go charge, get a nice sandwich, kick back and chill for a minute, and then booyah, head up out of there. I like the system too, because you just plug that son of a gun in. It's already hooked to your credit card. It already knows that. It's amazing. It's amazing. Wow. It's amazing. You gotta love it.
What do they do? Do they charge you by the minute or what? Like or the watt?
I think by the watt. I think by the watt. Yeah.
Okay.
It was only like about $20, something like that, like $15, $20. Yeah.
That's not bad, man. That's not bad. That's incredible. I got to see the bookmobile in person.
Charged it for 1 hour. Got it right back up to my 80% range, because I don't charge it more than 80%. But yeah, man. It's amazing. It's amazing. I'm still in the honeymoon phase. I'm still in the honeymoon phase.
Well, enjoy it while it lasts. You know what I mean? That's what they say. No, but no, the bookmobile is is a favorite of mine. I enjoyed seeing it in person. It was really sweet, man. And I enjoyed Sub-Zero from top to bottom. What a great show. So it's where I got to celebrate my birthday on Saturday with all the Row fam. 12 years, Book. I've been around 12 years.
Wow,
I don't know where they went.
It's crazy. It's
crazy. You know what they mean?
Hey man, when you're having fun, that's what they say. Time flies. Time flies when you're having fun. And I tell you, man, big ups, man. The Road definitely knocked it out of the park last night. I want to thank a lot of people. I do read the comments. For my shows, and a lot of the comments, man, are so freaking positive about reality wrestling. Reality wrestling may be the number one. It's big ups. Maybe the number one indie company in the world. But we're not an indie company. I just want everybody to know that we're not an indie company. We're a television company. We don't do it like the indies as far as just, overloading the show with independent guys. That's, ex-WWE guys, TNA guys, AEW guys. We try not to do that. We try to still make it, run as far as with our homegrown talent by bringing in a talent like Hank and Tank, who's trying to come up as well, who's trying to get to that next level. But more importantly, trying to teach these young guys how to work television, how to go out there and know what Shakespeare, Romeo and Juliet, Phantom of the Opera, Encore, Bravo, man, all of that. That's what reality of wrestling is all about. And I want to say, man, so many guys stepped up and really went out there and was put to the test and really went out there and passed that test on Saturday night. Even my man, Matty Ice, big ups to Matty Ice, going out there and representing reality of wrestling. No.
What do you mean even? What do you mean even? Why'd you have to say even?
Even Matty Ice, because Matty Ice, it's about knowing your job and knowing what your role is for that night. Play that role to the best of your ability, and something better may come along very, very soon. And at the end of the night, I just, I'm glad to see Matty Ice back on track and got his head straight. That's all. Matty Ice, one of my guys. He's a book guy. So I'm all about taking care of my guys.
Well, he's got his head straight because he's not spiking himself in a DDT anymore. You know what I mean? He's figuring out how to.
That might be it.
He's gonna see that. I'm gonna get a text. It's all right. It was worth the joke. But no, I loved the crew, and a lot of people don't realize the impact that Bruce Pritchard had on reality of wrestling. Bruce has been an H-Town guy, Houston native, worked under Paul Bosch before going over to WWF at the time, I think around WrestleMania 3, if memory serves me correct, and was there through 2008, 2009. And then I think it was around 2013, 2014. I remember Bruce showing up one day. He had an old school sweater on. It was the December show. And he had an old school, cool, we used to call them Cosby sweaters, but I don't want to put that on him. I don't know what you call it. You know what I'm saying? But that's what we used to call him back in the day. And he came in, and I remember man, that's Bruce Pritchard. And Bruce had so many great nuggets of knowledge that he could pass not just to the wrestlers, to people like me and for commentary, for us in the writing room, for cameramen, how to light certain things, backstages. I learned a lot watching Bruce produce backstages. And I'm like, oh, okay, I get that. Oh, cool. And he would even direct the camera, swoop it in like this, go right to the, he had such a big impact on Row for those 4 years. I think he was around every show. Yeah. Bruce was there. And then he went back, to New York, and he was such a great resource. And it was awesome to see him again.
No doubt, man. Came through on Thursday, and I was in Orlando because we had a party for NXT, and he had sent me a photo, and he's sitting in my desk. And I'm like, I'm going to kill you, man. What are you doing? It's my desk. I just got that desk. What are you doing? I haven't even christened it yet. And he's sitting in it, but now if anybody can take my spot, if anybody could take my chair for today, it's definitely going to be Bruce Pritchard. Thank Bruce Pritchard for everything that he's done for reality of wrestling, as well as myself. When I first got to WWE, Bruce was one of the first guys that I ran into. I talked about this, at my roast. And Bruce was one of the first guys that I ran into. And, my mother always told me, when you really don't know somebody, you keep your eye on that MF, That's what my mother told me. So Bruce Pritchard, first time I met him, I saw him at the airport. He said, "Hey, man, you Booker T?" I was like, "I'm Booker T, man." He's like, "Yeah, Bruce Pritchard, whatnot." And I was sitting in coach, and he was like, let me get you an upgrade, man. Let me get you an upgrade. And I was like, "Give me an upgrade." He's like, "Yeah, man, I got some extra miles and whatnot." So he got me upgraded. First time I met him. And then I saw him at the airport again. I was sitting in coach again. "Hey, man, let me get you upgraded." I'm like, "Wait a minute, I don't know if I can trust this guy." But no, man, he just turned out to be one of the good ones, man. He just turned out to be a damn good friend over these years that I've known Bruce. And I say friend because you don't call a person your friend unless you've broken bread with them. And Bruce and I have broken bread many, many times. Bruce is a hell of a cook, if you don't know. I'm serious, man. When Bruce lived literally 5 minutes away from me, we would always go and hang out. And Bruce would cook up some of the, biggest spreads that you ever seen in your life. That egg would be going all day long. And it's something that he loves, you know what I mean? So, nah, man, good friend, damn good friend.
I remember one time, this is a quick story. I know we got to go to break. I remember one time I came in. Normally, I'm always dressed when I get to the show. Like I'm already in my whole, gimmick, right? The suit and tie. One time I was late and I had to get dressed there. And when I came in, I just had like a button-up shirt, but I had like little, like some of those shirts had their little designs on them. And it was like little football and baseballs or something like that.
Yeah.
And Bruce, I had that on, and Bruce was sitting on your couch, and Bruce goes, and Bruce is wearing like a fisherman's shirt. And Bruce looks at me, he goes, "What are you wearing, Brad? I haven't worn shirts like that since I was a child." And I looked at Bruce, I said, "What are you wearing, Bruce? I haven't worn a shirt like that since I was a child." And we both shared a laugh, and I always think about that when I see Bruce, man.
Oh, man, guys, stick around. You're in the Hall of Fame. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
Let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Boom. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Hey, before we move on, what do you think about Hank and Tank? What do you think about Hank and Tank? NXT stars Hank and Tank came in to Reality Wrestling this weekend to take on Fly Death, the 5-time tag team champions at Reality Wrestling, and upset them. Now, I call it a big upset because Fly Death, one thing about matches like that, you don't necessarily have to win the championship that night. You just don't have to lose them. So I would have expected them to do anything by any means necessary to still walk away and steal. But Hank and Tank pulled it off. What do you think about Hank and Tank walk? Hank and Tank.
You know, it's great. I like them, you know, and I'm trying, they remind me of some team, and I can't figure out who it is, like a classic team from back in the day. And once I figure it out, and maybe somebody in the comments can tell me who I'm thinking of, but they just have this energy. And to me, that about being a pro wrestler or being in this industry is so important. And you can actually see a guy just from his entrance, or in this case, a team, just from their entrance. And after that entrance, you don't need to see much else. Do you know what I mean? To know if they got it or not. It's something about that curtain. You know, we talk about the airport test, but a lot of times it's the curtain test. When you come through the curtain, are you automatically connecting with them? And that energy is infectious. The bodacious belly boys, the stuff they do with their stomachs. I like them, man. They won me over in their first match, which was great. It was them and Will All Day versus the Command on the other side, which is Terrell Tempo, Big Q, and Big Luther. And that's over on the Reality Wrestling YouTube channel right now. But they won me over the first time. And then think about this. Not only did they become Reality Wrestling Tag Team Champions, this is their first tag team title ever, first championships ever. And these are guys who are products of the NXT Performance Center and the NXT system, right? Yeah. Whereas Warren and Zach, their products, obviously the Reality Wrestling system, but they've traveled all over the country performing in all different kinds of independent wrestling shows, you know, other television products, winning championships in other places. And I in a lot of ways, honestly, you could look at them like the veterans in the match as far as the tag team wrestling goes. And 5-time champions, and now they're 5-time losers. No, I mean, I got love for Warren and Zach. They won it 5 times, but now we have first-time winners, is what I meant to say for Hank and Tank. And it was a great match.
No, man. Hank Walker started out, you know, I guess a year or so ago in NXT, and he started out. He was a former security guard, and I just was all over him. I couldn't stand nothing about Hank Walker. And then Tank came in, and Hank and Tank together. I was like, man, I don't know. Maybe it seemed like they got something here. One thing about Tank, a lot of people compare him to Mojo Rawley. Okay, you remember Mojo? Yeah. You remember Mojo? He had so much energy. And I say, I don't compare him to Mojo Rawley at all. Just because it seems like, not that Mojo didn't, but it seems like Tank Ledger gets it. It seems like he understands what this business is all about, as far as not just being energetic, but the X's and the O's. Just say, for instance, showing up at Reality of Wrestling for the first time and getting that crowd, those fans to actually buy in. I was like, wow, these guys, they're showing me something. That's why I want to bring them back again. And I tell you, after this weekend, I think Hank and Tank, I think these two guys are going to have very, very bright futures in WWE if they can just stay on that path. And that path, what I'm talking about is that path of just learning, trying to pick it up, trying to figure it out more than anything. And with Hank, I said, Hank, just make sure you lay it in, brother. That's all you need to do. The rest of everything else will handle itself. You know what I mean? And I tell you, they did a hell of a job.
Yeah, I love their tag finish. I love, like I said, the character and the gimmick. And you're right. I don't see Tank and Mojo. I don't make that comparison at all. But to me, yeah, they're both energetic. But it's also, and this is not a slight to Mojo Rawley at all, but I'm saying that there's a difference between show muscle and go muscle, right? Yeah. There's a difference between just looking the part and being the part. There's a difference between having the energy and knowing how to utilize that energy in the proper fashion.
Yeah.
And I think that's what Tank does really well.
Yeah, no, man. Hell of a job. I just want to give those guys props going forward. Some news out there that I did see, just to switch gears. Tessa Blanchard is back in TNA. And the thing is, man, I've already seen criticisms. I just want to put this out there. I've already seen criticism of Tessa Blanchard being back and people still wanting to try to cancel her. Man, y'all get off of it, man. Get off of it. You know, and the thing is, if something was said, if an apology was made and fences were mended, you know, we should be able to move on. One thing about certain things, just say, for instance, that get out there in the social media sphere, everybody know about it, but don't nobody really know what's going on. That's what's really. I'm serious.
100%.
Everybody know about the story, but don't nobody know what's going on because I just like say, for instance, I had 2 girls at Reality Wrestling that had beef, and I said, man, you need to straighten this out. You need to squash that beef. On social media, perhaps social media had picked it up, but social media don't know that these 2 have mended that fence. They have been down the road working together. They have tagged together, and everything is all good. So my thing is, guys, get off of all of this hate and let Tessa Blanchard hopefully try to resurrect her career and go out there and redo this thing all over again. Try. Let's just look at it as that, a redo. Let's look at it as that.
Well, look, I don't try to get too in the weeds when you see stories like, I don't know the specifics of the Tessa thing. I've heard things, right? I mean, you read some things. I don't know what was said, what the whole beef was about. I couldn't tell you, right? It reminds me of that quote, small minds talk about people, good minds talk about events, great minds talk about ideas. And to me, yeah, people are going to talk. People are going to say things that they regret. People are going to make mistakes. Look, he without sin, right, shall cast the first stone. And to me, if there's if apologies were done, mistakes were acknowledged, like we got to go from cancel culture to council culture. Yeah, hey, you don't do that, but guess what? Come on back in. How many times, Book, have you told somebody at the gym to get their stuff and get out? Right? I can in my 12 years, it may be up to the hundreds. I don't know if it's that many, but that's what I like to think. It might be to the hundreds. But let's say it's 100. Let's say it's 100. Guess how many out of those 100 got a second chance? All 100 of them.
Yeah, every one of them.
That's the way it works.
Every one of them. I've never held a grudge until you cross that line. Of course, there's a line that you can't cross back over. But like you say, every time I've had a dispute, whatnot, with someone, and they were told to get the hell up out of here, they always came back. They always came back. They always got a second chance. And just because I believe in people making mistakes and getting another chance. And the reason I say that, because I was one who made a hell of a mistake in my life. And somebody gave me a second chance. And the reason I'm here right now is because of that second chance. So I cannot be the one who just, cast someone out and throw them away like trash, without giving them a second chance.
Now, let me say this, though. TNA, because I like what TNA's doing. I like what they got going on over there. I know Joe Hendry, our guy Joe Hendry, he's lining up for that TNA World Championship. You're right, TNA Heavyweight Championship. Do not let Joe Hendry win this championship and then Tessa Blanchard beat him for it. You know what I mean? We can't do that again. Look, it's okay to make mistakes, like we said, but we got to learn from them.
Well, I think what I mean? I think that's a mistake that TNA will learn from. I think that's some invaluable knowledge that they have going into this second run with Tessa Blanchard. I really do, because I don't know. I was always a huge Tessa Blanchard fan as far as her in-ring stuff. But when she's great. When they did that, I was the first one against it.
Mm-hmm.
I was the first one to say that was. I actually said this. I said that was the worst decision TNA has ever made since its existence. That's what I said.
Yeah.
And guess what? I was 100% right. I was 100% right on that. Just because this business is to be embellished. Okay, I get that. I understand that 100%. But there are lines that we don't cross, because those lines sometimes we can't cross back over. That's the way I see that.
No, I'm with you, and I think that that's probably one of now. And again, I'm not crapping on TNA because I've always been a TNA fan. But yeah, and to say that's the biggest mistake in TNA history, like that's a really big statement, but it's also like really true. You know what I mean? That's not even a mistake for TNA. It just wasn't a good look, in my opinion, for the business.
I can't remember what people were saying about me at that time. I don't know. I don't remember the comments. If people saying, Booker T, what is he talking about? He doesn't know anything. How you like this hoodie I got, man? We got to take a break here real quick. How you like this hoodie?
Your Chew hoodie, your blue Chew hoodie?
How you like it, huh? How you like that? How you like that? I got to go on the road tomorrow. I'm going to the airport, man, early in the morning. I think I'm going to wear this. I'm going to wear this in the morning.
I better hope you don't get patted down at TSA.
I'm gonna take one just for that. Hey guys, you're in the Hall of Fame. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? And this episode is sponsored by Blue Chew. Guys, let's talk about it. Let's talk about sex. Hey, you remember when you was always ready to go? I'm talking about strapping the rocket on it, man. Going straight to the moon. I'm talking about getting it done. If you want that extra confidence, I got something for you. Listen up. BlueChew.com. Blue Chew is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, but in a chewable tablet at the fraction of the cost.
But the great thing, Book, is you can take it any time, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. You sign up at BlueChew.com, consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you'll receive your prescription within days.
The best part, guys, it's all done online on the internet. So there's no doctor's visit, no awkward conversations, no waiting in line at a pharmacy or any of that.
And the thing is, Book, Blue Chew's tablets, they're made right here in the USA and prepared and shipped direct to your door in a discreet package, so no one is the wiser.
You know, let's just get it out there, guys. Blue Chew wants to help you have better sex. Discover your options at BlueChew.com. It's like this. Chew it and do it. And we've got a special deal for our listeners. Try Blue Chew absolutely free when you use promo code Booker at your checkout. Just pay $5 for shipping, man. That's BlueChew.com. Use promo code Booker to receive your first month absolutely free. Visit BlueChew.com for more details and important safety information. And, you know, we want to thank Blue Chew for sponsoring the Hall of Fame podcast. Chew it and do it. Boom! Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. Man, I'm feeling good, man. But I got to get out of here early in the morning, man. I got to go to Boston. NXT is going to be in Lowell, Massachusetts tomorrow. And we're gonna be doing double duty. But I'm looking forward to getting there because in Boston, we got this little spot that we go to. Want to give Kowloon's a big shout out. Kowloon's, man. Right after the show, we're going to be here to get Kowloon's. And, man, when we go there, bro, we eat hearty, bro. We eat like big time. And I'm talking about several different dishes. I just cannot wait. Last time we were there, I got so full. I'm serious, man. I cannot wait to get to Kowloon's. The show is going to be good, but Kowloon's, man, yeah, just big shout out. Big shout out.
Yeah. It sounds like you're trying to get a free meal.
No, it's always free. No, it's always free. Kowloon's on there. They always have treated us like royalty, man. Ever since I've been in this business, every time we go to Boston, we go to Kowloon's, and they shut the place down for us, and it's a feast. You know what I mean? Drink and eat. You know, more wine. You know what I mean? More wine. You know what I mean? More steak. You know what I mean? Yeah, man, it's gonna be good, dog. Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, shout out to Calhoun's.
Big bowl rice. Yes.
Was there any other subjects you want to talk about? Because I wanted to talk about one thing with Saturday night's main event. That went on.
What is it?
Huge. I mean, huge. Saturday night's main event's back.
I want to apologize. I've been so dialed in to NXT lately, guys. I've been working so hard with my NXT duties as well as with the LFG Legends and Future Greats. I've been so dug in. I can't believe I missed that night, man, because
well, no, it was during our show.
I know, but still, I could have had the phone on or something watching it just because of the nostalgia of Saturday night main event. You know, I just wanted to see if it had that same look, but more importantly, that same feel, because it was always excitement personified for Saturday night main event. But no, go ahead, man. Sorry.
No, it did have that feel. It had that old school throwback feel. I mean, even starting the show off with the man from the Baja, the Body, being on there, and he and Joe Tessitore kind of doing cut-ins the whole time and hosting the show, kind of like he and Gorilla used to do back in the day, or he and Vince, and he was in commentary for the main event. Actually, really, honestly, and maybe this is just because I'm like a Jesse Ventura guy, like I love Jesse Ventura, but he didn't sound like he missed a beat on commentary. You know, he sounds a little older, but not really that much older because his voice was always kind of gravelly.
Yeah.
And what Jesse was always good at is he would always like point out the obvious things. Like, don't taunt, you're trying to win. Like, don't look at the crowd. Like these like real actual tips.
Yeah.
Instead of like just being like, oh, I'm a heel announcer and I'm going to do some shtick.
Exactly.
He would do like stuff that made sense from a commentary perspective.
Yeah.
And so that was cool to see the body back, and he's going to do all of the Saturday night's main events moving forward. I think they're going to do 4 a year. But Cody Rhodes had the Winged Eagle Championship back, the same title that Hogan and Brett and Shawn and Austin and all those guys wore, and Warrior. It was cool just for a throwback. But here's the thing I wanted to talk to you about. We talked about it on this show. We both made a prediction, which you rarely make predictions about the show because you say you're not booking the show. But you did say if any woman's going to win that United States Championship, I put it on Chelsea Green. That was what you said. And I backed you up on it completely. I'm like, man, that makes sense. Chelsea Green's the one. That's the one. And guess who won it? Chelsea Green. First women's United States champion in pro wrestling history, in WWE history. Yeah. And I couldn't think of anybody more deserving, honestly, truly.
You just hit it on the head, man. She deserves it. That it goes back to that saying, that my brother told me a long time ago. He said, just do the job to the best of your ability. Yeah. Till something else comes along. And that's what Chelsea's been doing. She's just been going out, doing the job every single night to the best of her ability, win or lose. It hadn't been about that. It's been about her going out and performing at the highest level she possibly could every single night. And if everybody adopt that same sentiment, man, I'm gonna tell you, they will put themselves in a better place. They will put themselves in a better position to win, more importantly than anything, because that's what this business is about. Everybody can't be on top at the same time. But if you're doing your job, you're putting yourself in position to perhaps one day be on top. That's the only thing you can really ask for.
And for Chelsea, I don't know this because I've never asked her. And you know what? We need to get Chelsea on the show because I'd love to pick her brain about her thought process when it comes to this business, because I guess she I don't know if she'd always been that way, but since this return, this is what I think happens. Sometimes, and we've even seen it at reality wrestling, you lay out an idea for a guy or a girl, say, hey, this is what we want you to do. And sometimes they'll be like, well, why are we doing that? Why are we going that way? Or why are we going this way? I think this is what happens with Chelsea. It's like, hey, Chelsea, we want to work an angle where you're going to, work a dumpster match, right? And instead of going, well, why are we doing that? Chelsea thinks of, okay, how can I get some good stuff out of this? How can I get myself and the other person over at the same time? And it's literally like, here's what we want. Figure out how to make the best of it. Like, what's the way I can do this to my advantage? And that's what I think she's done since back. And for her to be the United States champion, it makes perfect sense. And I almost feel like that was your philosophy in wrestling. Like, you didn't question too much why. You just said, okay, this is what you want. Okay, how can I make this work?
100%. I never really thought about, talking to the writers or anything like that. I've never gone in and pitched an idea. Never once in my career. You could say whatever you want to say about me, but I had a pretty damn good career. I was always about, taking the script and making it my own. I was about getting it done and then leaving it behind me as well. I never took it home with me or anything like that. I wasn't at home thinking about what I was going to do next week, in whatever city or town I was going to be in. I did not. I totally detoxed. I totally unplugged from that situation. But when it was time to go, when it was time to really go out and perform at the highest level, give me, the script and let me go out there and, like Denzel Washington, make it my own, man. I'm talking about it's going to be like a training day session. I'm serious, So for me, I think Chelsea definitely, has a lot of those same traits as far as just going out there and performing. This is a job at the end of the day. And for the people that get that and understand that, man, they last in this business a very long time. When you're thinking you're a superstar, when you're thinking that, when you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror and you wink at yourself because you're all of that, you won't be around this business very long. I've lasted over 30 years in this business by literally putting on my hard hat and my boots lacing up real tight and going to work every single week. That's what it's all about.
Well, like, I think I may have mentioned this on the show before, but one of the things that I loved that Chelsea did, and I think this was her return. Okay, so imagine this is your return to the WWE. You left or whatever happened. I don't know if she got released or whatever happened. She was gone for a while. She came back. Her big return was at the Royal Rumble, where returns happen. And normally, if you're like the big your return surprise, you want to bump a few people, get your stuff in, you know what I mean? Let the crowd. This is how smart she is. She comes in the ring, slides in, and immediately gets grabbed and gets eliminated within 2 seconds, right? That's her whole return. Why that pops me is I think of this from several things. One, in a Royal Rumble match where there's 30 people coming out, how are you going to stand out if you're not number 1 or number 30, right? How are you going to stand out? Hey, man, if I got eliminated in 2 seconds, everybody's going to remember that. Everybody's going to remember that. Yeah. And guess what else? This is how smart, and I know because she's a worker, this has to be what she's thinking. If I have the quickest elimination every year for the Royal Rumble package, they're going to show my elimination for the next 20 years. I'm going to have TV time out of this. Yeah, that's a worker, man. That's a worker.
It's definitely smart. Yeah, I mean, if you thinking about what a worker truly is, what the definition of what a worker really is, that's it.
It's a worker.
Because I say it all the time, you'll be able to finish it. Television time is worth its weight.
And worth its weight in gold.
Boom, there it is. I've said it 1,000 times, man. And for her, it's worth its weight in gold. I mean, every year they show Stone Cold Steve Austin and I in the grocery store. Every year, since it happened pretty much. And for me, that's some of my best work. It truly is, man. Some of my best work. People can criticize, they can say whatever they want to say about it, but that was truly some of my best work. Even some of the, the scenes with the boogeyman that they show, on a rotation clip, man, that was literally some of my best work, working with the boogeyman at WrestleMania with the boogeyman, some of my best work. So, no, Chelsea Green, she gets it. She understands it. And and now she's the first. She just made history. Guys, you're in the Hall of Fame. We got to take a little break, and we're going to come back and do some super chatting. Stick around. We'll be back in a minute. Can you dig it, sucker? All right, everyone, it's Booker T and Brad Gilmore here, and we've got something exciting for all you sports, comedy, music, and theater fans out there. We're talking about Game Time, the fastest, easiest way to get your hands on tickets to your favorite events.
That's right, Book. We love all those spontaneous, unforgettable moments, and Game Time is here to make them happen. Whether it's a last-minute decision to see a game or a sudden urge to catch a live show, Game Time has got you covered, giving fans access to tickets even at the last minute in over 60 cities across the United States and Canada.
Hey guys, this ain't about getting in. This is about getting the best seats in the house. With Game Time, you can see images of your seat before you buy it. So no surprises there, guys. You can score tickets swiftly. Skip the line, guys. Just dive straight into the moment.
Absolutely. And listen to this. Game Time guarantees the best prices. Find tickets in the same section in a row for less elsewhere. Game Time will give you a credit of 110% of the difference. So there's no reason to wait, bro.
So whether it's the thrill of the game, the laughter of the comedy, the rhythm of the music, or the drama of the theater, guys, don't let the opportunity skip by. Choose Game Time. Grab your tickets and just enjoy the moment.
Live should be spontaneous, Book. So guys, don't miss out. Check out Game Time now on their app or at gametime.co. That's gametime.co.
Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Just download the Game Time app, create an account, and use the code BOOKER for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Lowest price. Guaranteed. Oh, yes. Booyah, baby. Welcome back inside the Hall of Fame, man. This is our last segment. We got to get up out of here, man. Football has been screwing everything up. But we're going to be on a regular rotation real soon, as well as the LFG thing. Been doing a monkey wrenching things as well. But we're going to be back full time real soon. But let's get deep into the super chatters. If look like you got something.
One thing, because you mentioned football. How about them Texans, AFC champs,
Oh,
man? Come on
baby.
now.
They did
Come
it,
on
man.
now.
I'm going to the game next week.
If you find the sins and wrong, that is right for you.
That's right.
Yeah, man. You're going to the game.
Yeah, man. I got invited. I'm going. Yeah.
Oh, that reminds me. I got to talk to you about something after the show.
Big money. Is it more money? More money? More money?
Hey, mo money, mo. Always talking about money, man. I'm not hitting your phone if there's nothing to talk about.
I'm available when I'm available.
I feel that. I feel you. But let's get into these super chats here. If you have a super chat you want to get in before the end of the show, make sure you send it on over. This is Jake from the Windy City. Hey, Book, I've always wondered, when you first started the promotion, how did you come up with the name Reality of Wrestling? It's such a cool name. Yeah, I'd love to hear this story too.
Because we had a name in the beginning that sucked. The PWA. We wanted to be like everybody else in the beginning. Have a WA, a W something, and the Pro Wrestling Alliance is what we came up with. And then there was another group out there that was called the Pro Wrestling Alliance as well. And I was like, man, it's just not going to work. And for me, I said, one day I told Charmel, I said, we got to change the name. And everything that we had was branded PWA. Everything had the logo on it, PWA. I said, we got to get rid of everything. Charmel wanted to kill me. But I said, we got to come up with a cool name. And I did. Me personally, I came up with the name. And I said, Reality of Wrestling. Reality of Wrestling. And the reason I said Reality of Wrestling was when you see it on the program, you wouldn't know if it was a reality show or a wrestling show, but you had to check it out. So I thought, bam, there it is, Reality of Wrestling. It's been pretty good.
Yeah, and then I will say, not to blow smoke, but like one of the smarter decisions was, because at first it was Reality of Wrestling, but you still had the letters ROW that we would always say, and there was even chants at the time, ROW. People would say it. We just all say the ROW this, the ROW that. And then one day I remember sitting in your office with Kevin and you were like, no more ROW. It's the ROW or it's Reality of Wrestling. It's one of the two, but no ROW stuff. And at first I'm like, well, everything's always three letters. But then you're like, you know what? It's just now when I hear ROW, somebody say it, like I kind of like tense up a little bit.
Yeah.
Like, ugh.
It doesn't sound that good, right?
Sounds weird. ROW. No.
Yeah.
ROW. The ROW.
Yeah.
And what's so crazy is like, I don't think so many people think about it because it's been so long since we've ever said ROW, but like even when people are casually talking about it, they're like, oh no, I'm going to go to Row this Saturday, or I'm going to train at Row. Yeah. I'm going to go do this. And it's one of those.
You know what? It was one of my better decisions. Even my dog name is Rover.
ROWVER, right?
Yeah. So no, that's how I came up with it.
Yeah, man. I wanted to ask you real quick before we get to the next super chat. What did you feel about JR putting you over about your commentary? Jim Ross, one of the best of all time on his show, Grilling JR, was talking about how fun you are to listen to and how great of a job you're doing on NXT. I wanted to know what you thought of that.
I appreciate it. I appreciate JR putting me over. JR looks at things from a different perspective than most. He sees it like insight. He's looking at it from insight perspective. He sees the little things that I do, perhaps that, some people may not. But I appreciate JR doing that because JR is, no doubt, undoubtedly the greatest commentator that ever did this in this business. And for him, that's an endorsement. That's a huge endorsement coming from JR, so I appreciate it. JR was the guy that got me to tell my story, as far as me going to prison. JR was the guy that signed me when I came to WWE. So I appreciate everything that JR has done for me and all the kind words that he's had to say about me.
And JR actually he got you pretty good at your roast too. I got to say, JR had one of the better roast videos that he sent in. Our next one here comes from Adam Kahn. Hey, Book and Brad, just a question. $50, by the way. Shout out to you, Adam. Hey, Book and Brad, just a question. Who are your favorite wrestlers at the moment?
Man, like I said, I'm dialing the NXT, man. And of course, Roxanne Perez is high on my list just because she is so damn good. She really is. Trick Williams. I can't say enough about this kid. I see me every time I see him, go out and do his thing in the ring. I see myself. Obafemi is another guy that I'm really, really high on. And I'm really, really glad seeing like Ridge Holland, get a breakout moment and, finally, finally get some shine put on him. Totally revamping his whole career, so yeah, I could say so many more, but I'm so dialed in to what they're doing down in NXT. As
Yeah,
well as,
man.
one more name that I got to put on that list. She's going to be one of the true greats of this business once you guys get a chance to really, really see her up close and personal. That's Promise Braxton. She is so damn good. Give Promise Braxton some props.
Yeah, Promise Braxton, I've actually really talked about for so long as one of my favorites to watch. And I'm also like a Raw person, so there's a few at Reality Wrestling. I think Zilla Fatu is doing a great job. Gaspar Hernandez, Edge Stone, Will All Day, and the list goes on from people from Reality of Wrestling that I really love to watch. Ryan Davidson, of course, is the Abe Lincoln on the Mount Rushmore of Reality of Wrestling. The guy's just so great. When you talk about NXT, so many names there too, but you can go down the list. I mean, I have my personal favorites: Lola Vice, Jada Parker, Izzy Dame. I'm a fan of Sol Ruka. There's a few. Jasmine Nix is great.
There's a plethora.
There's a few down there that I'm really high on. And then on the main roster, it's really easy to say Cody and guys like that, and obviously they're great. To me, Kevin Owens is so good, man, at everything he does. There's never a Kevin Owens or a Sami Zayn segment that I watch and go, those guys missed the mark. They always figure out how to make it entertaining for me, even if I'm not bought into the story. They still make it entertaining for me, and I'm hooked by the end of the match in the 3 count. So those are 2 that just came to my mind. This is from Hefe Pilot. What's up, King Booker? And the Boats on the Hall of Fame podcast the Hall of Fame podcast is the best podcast. I can't wait until we meet. I'm still figuring out where to stay out in Houston. Well, it's a big city. It's a big city. You know what I mean?
You ain't driving, man. I'm serious, man. Driving the Cybertruck from one side to the other side, I got to charge it. I'm just playing. But no, man. No, man. Seriously, man. It's huge here in the city, man. But now find your spot, man. But make sure you close enough to get to Reality Wrestling on a monthly. So that's your only concern.
Yeah, hit me up, Hefe, and I can't tell you where to stay, but I can tell you where not to stay. You know what I mean? I can do that. We all know those areas. Although Houston's weird, because Houston, you could go take an area like the Heights. You could go one street, it's like multi-million-dollar mansions, and then the next street looks like it should be condemned.
You're in deep ghetto.
And then the street behind it is like townhomes. And then the street behind that, like our house is built in the 30s. And then it's just like, that's how Houston is. Like, it's so weird.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's really not a bad area. Eddie Kane Main, who wins, Clarissa Shields or Remy Ma? Now, come on, Eddie. You don't need to talk about people's mess right now. That's messy right now.
Well, I mean, Clarissa Shields gonna beat the hell out of somebody. Look here, Clarissa Shields. She's a little whack. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna tell you right now, you do not. I mean, she talk about fighting. Everybody out there right now. Seriously, don't matter who it is, man, woman, child. She is looking for a fight, and she's bad. She's bad.
Look, man. Look, Remy's not a trained fighter, but Remy's a gangster, man. She's an OG in the game. I love Remy Ma.
Clarissa Shields will beat the brakes off Remy Ma.
Here's the thing.
Looking at about 30 seconds. That's all it would take.
Okay.
I'm serious.
We got more to go through, but Eddie K, man, don't talk about people's mess, man. You're putting their private lives out there, papoose and all that stuff. John JID 999 says, are there certain types of college athletes that perform better in wrestling? Obviously gymnasts, but what other types of athletes usually pick it up? A lot of football players, right? I mean, come into wrestling. Doesn't mean they necessarily pick it up, but they have the athleticism in order to do it.
Right now, it's been gymnasts and wrestlers.
Yeah.
Those are the guys that's been picking it up the quickest, the fastest, I mean, you look at the Tiffany Strattons, the Kalani Jordans who pick it up just like that so easily. You look at someone like Easy Dane, who's a volleyball player, I don't know. It's just something about the NIL guys seem to be picking it up really, really quickly. And maybe it's because, I've been used to being coached forever. They're used to being in that environment. They're used to being under that umbrella. I'm not sure what it is, but the NIL guys are definitely picking it up like that.
Like that, man. Back at it. We have a couple more real quick. M Music says, I need one of those blue chew hoodies. Well, man. Chew it and do it, brother. Chew it and do it. Alex Cosentino says, was there ever a move you refused to take? Well, you should have refused that awesome bomb.
I should have refused that, but the only move that you're never going to see Booker T taking, especially after he turned 28. Before 28, you might see it, but after I turned 28, you would never see me do a backdrop. Never took a backdrop. I hated taking backdrops. Some guys could do it so flawless. Eddie Guerrero was the best at taking backdrops. It would go so freaking high. I could give them very, very well. I'm serious. I can land you so flat giving you a backdrop. But for me, it was the guy that was giving it sometime could not land me properly. And I think that's the reason why I didn't like taking backdrops.
Would you hit like butt first sometimes or what?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And but for me, I knew how to give a guy a perfect backdrop every single time. And I teach it, I train it at Reality of Wrestling. If you want to know how I do it, go to realityofwrestling.com, sign up, do it now. I do it for you.
Alex comes back. How hard is it to watch a match as a fan and try to disconnect from a worker's perspective? Did that take time once you retired?
No, it didn't. I've always been able to, tap into the moment. For me, it's as real as I make it, no matter whether I'm in the ring or whether I'm at the commentary booth. I was always able to disconnect from one and try to be the other. And for me, I don't know, maybe it's because I was that young guy in the ring once upon a time watching commentators not do me, proper, not give me my just due when I was out there performing. And it made me so freaking mad. It pissed me off to the utmost. So I think about that. I think when I'm playing both roles.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I still get lost in it. Even at Reality Wrestling, I'll get lost in a match. This one comes from Alex. This is our last one of the day. Book, I've asked multiple people this. In your primes, who's winning a shoot fight? Steiner Brothers or Harlem Heat? All love to the king. Oh, come on, man.
I'll tell you right now, man. I beat the hell out of 100% out of the WCW locker room. Okay, it's that simple. I'm serious. I'm serious. I mean, I was a pretty tough guy in my day. And outside, you got to put guys like Earthquake, John Tenta. You put them to the side. Okay, I'm not talking mean guys like him. Put him to the side.
You're talking American born.
I'm talking about guys like Alex Wright.
Okay, or not. Okay. Billy Kidman.
You know what I mean? Frankie Lancaster. I beat the hell out of all of them. No, man, but it would have been tough. It would have been tough. Steiners, you got to give them the props.
Hell yeah.
Former mat wrestlers, guys, they're the real deal. They truly are the real deal. But my brother and I, we're cut from a different cloth. It would have been a tough fight. I'm not sure who would have won that one. I really can't say.
Well, that's all we got for today, BT.
Oh, yeah, man. Hey, guys, want to thank y'all for stepping inside the Hall of Fame, getting your champagne wishes, caviar dreams. I know y'all want to get one of these, too. Just go to BlueChew.com. I'm sure they got some merch there for you. But, man, we appreciate you guys. All the super chatters, we appreciate you guys. We really, really do. Brad, all the heavy lifting, man. As always, man, we appreciate you. And until next time, we love you. Peace. Booyah! We out.